The defendant's name is Aaron Christian Clark. The probable cause affidavit reads as follows. Before me, the undersigned authority, personally appeared Detective Vincent Donato, who, being duly sworn, alleges, on information and belief, that on the 28th day of June, 2023, in Hernando County, Florida, the defendant did cetone murder degree, distribute fentanyl prox cause death CT2 unlawful use of two-way communication, to wit, on June 30th, 2023 at approximately 10:26 hours, the Hernando County Sheriff's Office, herein referred to as HCSO, received a call for service in reference to a death investigation, which was later determined to be a violation of murder, death by the unlawful distribution of fentanyl of Section 782.04, 1A, 3, G of the Florida State Statutes. The offense was at the residence located at Redacted Road, Brooksville, in Hernando County, Florida. Redacted discovered the deceased body of deceased. Redacted and Redacted were identified as the parents of the deceased. Upon the arrival of law enforcement and Hernando County Fire and Emergency Services, was confirmed to be deceased at approximately 10:32 hours. Deputies observed the deceased on the floor of his bedroom positioned on his back. Deputies did observe drug paraphernalia in the deceased bedroom. Located on his bed were a cap syringe and a clear plastic baggie that contained an unknown white substance. Deputies also locate the deceased's cell phone, all of which were collected and placed into evidence. One of the parents confirmed that the deceased was addicted to illegal narcotics. The death of the deceased did appear at the time to be a drug-related overdose. On October 19, 2023, the official medical autopsy report was received from the Medical Examiner's Office District 5 and 24. The report confirmed that the cause of death of the deceased was due to fentanyl intoxication. Toxicology report also confirmed that fentanyl was found in the blood of the deceased. During the week of November 13, 2023, contact was made with Redacted, who confirmed that she wasn't at home with the deceased when he was found deceased. Redacted also confirmed that she did have knowledge that the deceased was addicted to drugs, but didn't know exactly what he would use to get high. Redacted stated that she believed that the deceased would purchase drugs from the defendant, Aaron Clark, and that after the deceased's death, she did locate messages on the deceased phone indicating that Aaron did sell the deceased drugs. Later in the week of November 13, 2023, the deceased phone data was reviewed. The following messages were located between the deceased and the phone number Redacted with the contact name of Aaron. The messages revealed the following conversation, all from the date of June 29, 2023. From the deceased at 16:10 hours. Hey Brody, what up? Aaron, 16:11 hours. Who's this? Deceased, 16:11 hours. Redacted Aaron, 16:11 hours. What's up, bub? Deceased, 16:12 hours. Not shit, stuck at my house on house arrest. Trying to find some yipper or some dog food type-ish. What are you up to? Aaron, 16:12 hours. So yay or heroin. Deceased, 16:13 hours. Well, not H, but yeah, no Fetty Wap something. I don't know. I'm bored as fuck. Aaron, 16:13 hours. How much? Deceased, 16:13 hours. Got $50. Aaron, 16:14 hours. Shoot it and I'll grab it. I got $30 on me right now, but I'll grab the half. Aaron and the deceased then discuss how payment will be received, and the prices Aaron then confirms with the deceased that he can get WAP. Through training and experience, WAP or Fetty Wap is a common name for the drug, fentanyl. The deceased also provides his home address to Aaron. Aaron confirms that he is responding and provides an estimated time for arrival. At 17:45 hours, the deceased texted Aaron, definitely works Brodius. It appears that deceased was texting Aaron about the effects of the drugs. Aaron replied, yes sir, at 17:46 hours. There was no other activity after this thread of messages on deceased phone. Based on your affiant's training and experience, the above conversation do appear to be drug-related. On November 16, 2023, affiant made contact with the defendant via telephone, who agreed to meet with affiant at Flowers Bakery Store Outlet located at 16,727 US 19, Hudson, Florida. Upon meeting with the defendant, affiant informed him there was an active investigation involving the death of the deceased. Affiant informed the defendant that messages were located between the deceased and him in reference to selling drugs. The defendant did advise that he wasn't a drug dealer, but did give the deceased some methamphetamine after the deceased asked him. Affiant then asked the defendant if he provided the deceased with fentanyl, but he stated no. Affiant informed the defendant that the text messages show that the deceased was asking for fentanyl and he, the defendant, agreed to sell him fentanyl. The defendant confirmed that he was the one that was texting the deceased and confirmed that WAP is fentanyl. At one point, the defendant stated that he believed that it was methamphetamine he sold to the deceased and he couldn't remember. The defendant did admit to driving his ex-girlfriend's vehicle to Hernando County and meeting with the deceased's residence. Vehicle was a blue 2012 Toyota Prius bearing Florida tag. Redacted Aaron stated that he only sold the deceased $10 worth of drugs, but he couldn't remember how the deceased paid him. The defendant also advised that he doesn't believe that the drugs he gave the deceased killed him, as the deceased texted him days later. It should be noted that the deceased last texted the defendant on June 29, 2023, and he was found deceased June 30, 2023, which makes it impossible that the deceased was in contact with the defendant. A toxicology report of the deceased's blood confirms that methamphetamine wasn't found in the deceased's blood. Statements made by the defendant confirmed that he did utilize a two-way communication device to facilitate an illegal drug transaction and did provide the deceased with illegal narcotics. Cell phone records also confirm the statements made by the defendant to the victim. On or around November 29, 2023, a search warrant was obtained for a cell tower order to obtain cell tower locations of the defendant's cell phone during said drug transaction involving the victim. On December 13, 2023, cell tower order results for the defendant's cell phone were received. Data confirmed that the defendant's phone was pinging within Hernando County June 29, 2023 at around 1700 hours, and even pinged within a close distance to the victim's residence during the time frame of the drug transaction. Electronic surveillance also confirms that the 2012 blue Toyota Prius bearing Florida tag redacted, which was utilized by the defendant, was seen traveling on June 29, 2023 at around 0522 hours, traveling east on Cortez Boulevard from Mariner Boulevard and back west through the same intersection at 1748 hours. The route used by the defendant is a common route traveled if heading towards the victim's residence. Given the aforementioned facts and circumstances and affluent's training and experience, Affiant has probable cause to believe and does believe that there is probable cause for the arrest of the defendant for murder, death by the unlawful distribution of fentanyl, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device of Section 782.04, 1A3G of the Florida State Statutes. Affiant has shown that there is probable cause for the issuance of an arrest warrant based on specific and articulable facts as indicated above. End of the probable cause affidavit.